Hello, we're starting to repair this Mercedes radio. There's the model and part number for it. This is out of a W163 Mercedes ML350 2003. And there's the cassette. And then here's the front. So there's quite a few videos on YouTube where the chip goes bad. And I'm just trying to get it apart, and I've taken out every screw and it didn't come apart, but I finally started prying around the top and I got the top off. Here we go. And it's just like a single din. It's like kind of a fake top to it. And there's screws going in here to hold, I don't know what. It's, there's all the screws that have come out so far. And you can leave all those out because it's not going to fall apart. It's still stuck together. And there's two locks to the side, the piece that you get out with your tool that unclips it. So this radio, the problem is that the infrared light is not working. And this one, there's 0 inputs into B. There's no speaker wires at all. It's at the A and C wires. I'll show pictures later. They're out in the car, of course. And then this one just links it, which it actually links it to nothing. It's just a dummy plug for that. So I assume this is probably for phone navigation, other stuff. And then, so my version just has the radio, but unfortunately the speakers are not actual speaker outputs. It just all goes through the infrared. I was hoping to just get rid of this hunk of junk and then put a single DIN in for a little cubby space and some on Bluetooth, but I did order the chip to put in, so let's see how it keeps going here, and I'll keep looking for another option to get away from this thing. But anyway, just so you know, I'll try to show how it comes apart. Okay, so that's the first steps. Okay, now this side here is prying out a bit, so let's start to remove the top. It's press fitted so well that it doesn't seem like it will come apart, but can't put the camera down for a sec. I can't take these screws out, but this screw here that holds this heat sink here releases the top. And there we go, there's the top clamp. So you do have to take that one screw there at the top. And then you're into the guts, the Sony guts. This is for Carol and Bill. This isn't their deck. Okay, take these screws out here by the antenna outlet or track. And this back piece comes off. Getting closer to the chip anyway, and this stack my parts in order that I took them off. So first, second, third, blah, blah, blah. And there's a chip in under here, so let's get into there. Yep, just take, you have to take out every screw. I thought there'd be a couple screws you do have to take out, but no, every one. So there's this heat sink. It's just a big, this heavy piece of metal. I don't know what it would be, pot metal. Anyway, it's getting in there, and then you can start to see the screws for the bottom carriage. There's one down there, that Phillips. I have to find 2 more. I think they're under the cassette. They're in there somewhere. I think the cassette kind of frame will have to come out. But all this thing is cassette player, and then the information goes to the infrared, or sorry, fiber optic. And there, it used to go right there. This plate here around the circuit boards will come out. I have to get around the wires a little bit. There we go. It pops out. And that's getting you ever so much closer to getting this out, which will allow you to get at the chip. yeah, so this, once that plate's off, this will come out. Just lift out, it's a bit sticky. I just have to detach this clip there, just to give me a little bit of room, but it's pretty much there already. The chip should be under here. Okay, yeah, I forgot. They did mention that on the YouTube video I watched. The cover is soldered on there and on the other side as well. Down in there. I'll pick it up. But anyway, it's soldered on, so it doesn't just lift off. So I'll have to get creative and get some heat in there with my iron and get that off and hopefully get that out. There we go. Then I take the full cassette body out and everything else just to get at that, but I'm hoping not. I hope I can get in there with the soldering gun and get those soldered lugs off and lift off that cover. And then when I put it back together, that cover will not be back in there. Okay, just got this ribbon out. Just pried up on these tiny tabs on the side. And piece here will lift out. Oops. And release the ribbon. Okay, so it's 4 screws and the cassette carriage comes out once that ribbon's off. There it is. There's the screws that came out. Getting closer, but I still have to get the circuit board out because I have to solder underneath it, which sucks, but gotta keep digging and get it right out to get below that. Okay, I'm definitely just making this video to remember how it went together. So yeah, I unclipped that wire from there, etc. And there's one over here, pulls out the side of that one. And then took all these screws out here, they're marked like that one, that one, that one, and that one. So 4 screws, which separates the top circuit board from the bottom circuit board. I didn't undo these ribbons. I don't want to, and I think I can get away without it. The front at this point was just hanging there anyway. I didn't even realize that, so that'll come off there. There are some wires attached still over there. There's your fiber, or sorry, the joining one. And I think that's about it. So that can kind of sit on its own. Yeah, sorry, that can kind of sit on its own. And then now we're down to the main board. And I see there's screws like this will have to come off to finally get the main board out and on its back so you can see the soldering joints for that chip. Okay, so far I haven't destroyed everything, just gently tugging on stuff and these connectors, etc. will come out. So just carefully taking it apart and hopefully it'll kind of just fit its way back together. It's pretty involved to get this piece apart. I mean, unfortunately, could have just had this accessible, but I guess where do you stop? You don't expect the chip to go, I guess. Okay, thanks. Okay, so once the top circuit board is off, the bottom circuit board is down to just 2 screws, right there and right there. And then that's it. Now it will lift out. So in a nutshell, that's how you get your Mercedes-Benz ML350, probably 320, 500 radio apart. And it depends on what model you get, so how many features are in it. If I had 2 hands, this would just lift out, but you get the point. And then I'll show you the chip, just one sec. Okay, so this is the underside of the board. This is the part that you couldn't see before. And yeah, for sure it is soldered in 3 places. So that'll have to come off to access the chip, and I think I have to take the top, it's would sit as the top one off as well. Because you have to access both sides soldering the pins. I'll let the guy who does the soldering figure that out. Okay, so that's how you get the tape deck apart. If you can find one for $90, that's way better than this. It has Bluetooth, I suggest that, but this one doesn't have speaker output, so I'm just gonna try it this way. And after all this work, I'll be able to use the cassette deck with an aux cord into my phone. It's just terrible, so I'm just kind of trying this out. The chips are only about $2 a piece on eBay. See, some people have them for $10, which is still dirt cheap anyway. So hopefully that helps you out. Give it a shot if you're really attached to your deck, or especially if you have a good one with navigation. Not that the navigation be any good compared to your phone, but I don't know, if you're just nostalgic, you want to fix this crap. Hope this helps out. Thanks, bye-bye. Okay, some jackass destroyed this plate getting it off. All bent up a bit. I didn't have a solder sucker, so I just heated it up and turned that off. And started prying on it and it came off. Anyway, there it is, there's the chip. Should be a CONAN. This will work here. Maybe not. Okay. Definitely tiny. Some light. The bare phone will work. Yeah, there we are. CONAN OCC 8001-02. Looks like it's 1 of 10. So January 10th, 2010 maybe? No. 2003 car, so it's oldie. Burnt up. So anyway, hope that helps. And then I'm not gonna unsolder that thing. Like, I can't solder anything. That's my baby finger. Like, this is fine stuff. There's a guy in town that is an electronics guy. He will do it. Okay, have a great day.